This is the 20th anniversary of the New York Stallion auction, and to let you know how this all started, it started with Mary Marshall more than 20 years ago, in the 1980s. Hey, let's go, let's hear this history. Good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. We're going to tell you how this auction started. This is the 20th anniversary, and it all started with Mary Meisel more than 20 years ago, in the late 1980s. At that time, Mary Meisel was Central District Director of the New York State Morgan Horse Society, and she had been to the Penn, Ohio's Stallion Service auction and thought New York Club could do this. At that time, the MHA Stallion Service auction did not exist. Mary started talking to her friends in the Central District, and she and her husband, Ed, Ron, and Nancy Creason, Al and Joe Selecki attended the 1988 Penn, Ohio Stallion Service auction. On the ride home, they talked about how to make it work in New York State. They created a committee made up of Mary, Ron, Al, and Bill Rhodes. Ron then had several conversations with Lynn Peoples, who had been instrumental in the Penn, Ohio auction. And Lynn, as usual, was very generous with his time and experience and helped out with the New York auction. The committee met at Mary Meisel's vet clinic in Ithaca to plan the New York Stallion services. Interestingly enough, the issues they wrestled with are the same issues today's committee deals with. How do we make it appealing to the stallion owners so they'll donate to stallion service, and how do we make the auction appealing to buyers so they'll pay well for the services? How much should we spend putting on the auction? Where should the auction be held? And when should it be held? And how to make the sweepstakes classes appealing to exhibitors was easy. Just offer big prize money. Also, it was very important to the committee that their project not detract from the very successful New York State charity. And how it would be an asset to the New York Regional Show. One of the first things the committee decided was, to which the original members attributed the success, was to have a 4-year-old sweepstakes class during the first show season following the first auction. They solicited stallion owners to donate services. The first auction by promising that a portion of the first year's proceeds would be distributed as prize money to the first sweepstakes class of the New York Regional Show, and that all 4-year-old offspring of stallions whose services sold would be eligible to compete. Many stallion owners also had 4-year-olds sired by their stallions and found the combination appealing. In 1989, the first year of the sweepstakes, Harry Embry, riding Woodline's Eldorado, sired by his stallion Chevrolet Regal, won the park class. Ron and Nancy Creason's horse, Wishing Well Odessa, sired by Donnie and Molly Holmes' stallion Homespun Promotion, won the first English Pleasure Sweepstakes. The philosophy of the first Stallion Service Auction Committee was to spend as little money as possible on the auction so that as much of the proceeds as possible would be available for prize money for the sweepstakes classes at New York Regional. Much of the credit for success of the first and subsequent auctions is due to the organized skills of committee chair Ron Creason, who managed to pull this all together in less than a year, and also produced the first catalog on his own PC. Ron credits the generosity of the stallion owners and said that they had several popular stallions that first year and they never expected to get. Ron made several trips up and down the New York Thruway looking for suitable locations. They finally agreed on the VFW in Little Falls, New York, which was both inexpensive and close to the Thruway. They received $1,000 in startup money from the board of directors of the New York State Morgan Horse Society, and the committee found volunteers to bring food, drink, and feed and lubricate the bidders. Someone got very well lubricated, remember. Al Selecki registered the bidders and gave them numbers. Dan Young was our first auctioneer. He sported a cowboy hat and a big beard, and he was the auctioneer for 14 years. Club members helped to collect the bids. It was a family affair, and we all had a great time. The first auction in 1989 included the services of a mortal man who has been offered every year except one for 20 years. This is really great. It also included Saddleback's Supreme, Savage Arms, and Privileged Prestige. These four were the top selling stallions that first year. The first auction brought in $16,300, which we thought was very good. It was. In 1994, the committee wanted to add a winning sweepstakes class to the regional show. The proceeds of the 94 auction was split, so the percentage went to the money for the winning sweepstakes in 95. The rest was invested for the 4-year classes in 99. And that has become very popular. In 2007, we had 23 really top quality foals in that winning class. 1998, the auction was moved to Holiday Inn in Syracuse, giving us the use of a phone bank to allow phone-in bids. This greatly increased the revenue generated by the auction. In 2004, the committee made a bold move to Saratoga Springs. This was a radical departure from the original philosophy of spending as little as possible to put on the auction. But it appears that it was the right move at the right time. Once again, revenue increased dramatically. Being closer to the New England area states proudly helped. This is our 5th auction in Saratoga Springs. In addition to taking bids over the phone, this is the first year we've had online bidding. But right now we're here, this is where it's at, and get your wallets out, bid high. We've got 43 great stallions to bid for this evening. And thank you for coming, everyone. And I'd like to introduce our auctioneer, John Bennett.